to push through. And she continued to survive and move forward through college and any situations that occurred, even without having a vehicle. So there are times where a person who is a survivor, that person learns to cope well with difficulties in their lives. Victims don't know how to cope when situations happen to them. They blame everyone in the world for their problems. Their problems are always heightened and catastrophes. They don't know how to take a situation and find a positive outcome of it. A few weeks ago, we spoke a bit about narcissism and how this society has built so many narcissists, and so many narcissists are living in this world and in this generation as a result of the social media platforms. And they use those platforms to create the narcissism and to basically make themselves feel better. I have been through a lot of difficulties and a lot of challenges in my life. But as a result, I have never, not once, allowed those challenges and difficulties to deter me from my dreams, deter me from my ideas, to deter me from having what I want to have, or deter me from being who I am to this day. When I was in high school, I never spoke about the horrific traumas I went through. And when I realized I had to speak about those traumas to get scholarships to college, it bothered me because I felt like I didn't want to use that as a way to get into college, but I knew I had no other resource. I had to explain my story for people to understand the things that I've been exposed to and why I was deserving of going to college. But there are people out there today as an adult. You'll see people online, social media, and you'll see them take a picture of the grocery cart and they'll say, look, I have to buy baby formula. I have to buy diapers for my children. Look what I'm doing. Those are necessities. Those are things you should be providing for your children. You shouldn't get a trophy for that. That's not something you should be proud of. Every day we have to go grocery shopping. Every day we have to pay bills. We have to live in a society where we have to continue to take care of ourselves. People who play the victim are the ones who continually seek attention, to continually seek and feel that someone should praise them. That's what it is. Someone should praise them. Someone should give them that glorified attention. I don't live my life that way. And I'm not teaching my children to live their lives that way. I'm teaching my children how to be accountable for their actions. So if my son does something to my daughter and he is being mean, or he's done something and he needs to apologize, I'll always tell him, you need to apologize. He'll say, I'm sorry. And I would say, you're sorry for what? Take accountability for what you did. If you hit your sister by accident and you didn't realize, I apologize, I hit you by accident. Not I apologize, no accountability for the action behind it. As individuals, we need to take accountability for how we're living our lives. If we don't take accountability for how we're living our lives, then we will continue to live our lives as a victim. With no accountability, guess what? There are no results. And with no results, there's no growth. Every person should live their life every day saying, I'm going to be a better person today than I was yesterday. I'm going to be a better person today than I was 10 years ago. I'm going to learn something today that I did not know 5 minutes ago. Every day is a new day to grow, to learn, to develop yourself. And when you're growing and you're learning and you're developing yourself, that's how you become a survivor. You teach yourself and you educate yourself on things that you didn't know. Say, for example, a few weeks ago, we discussed the topic ACE. And ACE is basically adverse childhood experiences. And with adverse childhood experiences, I didn't even know that existed. But when I did find out about it and I heard about it, I automatically went on my phone and Googled it to see, what is ACE? What does it mean? What does adverse childhood experiences mean? And if that does exist, do I have any adverse childhood experiences? Let me go back in my mind and think, Nicki, do you have any adverse childhood experiences that could be affecting your life today? And if you do, what are they? Okay, we know what they are. We've identified them. Now, what can we do to grow and heal from these adverse childhood experiences? Every person needs to learn a way of coping and growing. Coping and growing. If we don't learn to cope and grow, we will not be better people. And guess what? We will not be able to teach the children that are coming up underneath us. We need to teach the generation of children that are growing today how not to become narcissists, how not to be victims, how not to live in a society where they're going to be seeking attention and expecting praise for things that they should be doing on a regular basis. What you surround yourself with is who you become. And I'm learning to surround myself with people who have the same goals, if not even the same goals. It may be a completely different goal. Say, for example, someone may have a goal to be a salesman, and then someone else may have a goal to be a firefighter. But the fact that we all have goals, we all are going towards achieving those goals and moving forward to get to those goals, that's what's most important. So I need you guys to remember, a survivor is a person who survives, especially a person remaining alive after an event in which others have died. My situation in regards to how I choose to live my life, there are other people that have had the same experiences that I've had, that have been in the same situations that I've been in, maybe, of course, a little bit different, but they have not survived. They did not live. There are people who are alive as a living being, but they're physically alive, but they're not spiritually alive. They're spiritually dead. Inside of them is not alive. I'm choosing to be a survivor. I'm choosing to live through my trauma as well as live after the trauma. And my goal is to help create a generation of survivors of childhood trauma. We need to band together. We need to come together and unite as a community to help end this silence to childhood trauma, because there are people who are physically alive but are spiritually dead because they are still reliving every day the traumatic experiences that they experienced as a child. They continue to have flashbacks. They continue to have nightmares. They continue to have situations that trigger them. Why do you may see someone and they're always angry, or they can be smiling, and then before you know it, automatically that person switches up and becomes angry out of nowhere. Just a word can trigger someone and make them angry. But I encourage everyone to come together. Let's make a community where we can feel safe to discuss our trauma and our experiences so we can heal and move forward. I send blessings and peace as well as inner healing to each and every person that's listening to me. I also want to send love and joy. And I also want to make sure that everyone understands you are not alone. You're not by yourself. There are other people who are living in the same situations that you've lived in, and they have survived. So let's come together, each and every one of us. And I encourage you to enjoy your day and enjoy the rest of your week.